Shoplifting epidemic. More than 530,000 recorded offences a year. What has gone wrong? Workers must not be sacked for doing their jobs. Shoplifting in England and Wales has reached record levels, and retail workers are increasingly being punished not for wrongdoing, but for reacting to it. Official figures from the Office for National Statistics show more than 530,000 recorded offences in the year to March 2025, the highest since records began in 2003. The true scale is likely far higher, with millions of incidents going unreported, which is far beyond police-recorded figures. This is no longer low-level theft. Retailers report organised gangs stripping shelves, repeat offenders targeting the same stores daily, and a surge in violence and abuse. Estimates put shoplifting costs to retailers at around £2.2 billion annually, adding roughly £133 to the average household's yearly shopping bill. Evidence shows that potentially 2/3 of attacks on shop workers are linked directly to theft. Workers are on the front line of this crisis, yet they are being told to stand back and do nothing. Retail workers are not being properly protected. The British government and police are failing them, and they urgently need stronger legal protections. The result is a growing injustice. Staff who intervene, often out of instinct, frustration, or a desire to protect their workplace, are being disciplined or dismissed. Workers are placed in an impossible position. If they act, they risk losing their job. If they do nothing, they face ongoing abuse, fear, and a breakdown of workplace safety. The Workers of England Union clearly states that this is fundamentally wrong. No worker should be sacked for attempting to prevent crime or protect themselves and their colleagues. Employers cannot expect staff to endure daily theft and intimidation without reaction, while also refusing to provide adequate security or support. The rise in shoplifting is driven by multiple factors. The cost of living crisis has pushed some into desperation, while organised criminal networks are exploiting weak enforcement. Self-checkout systems have made opportunistic theft easier, but one of the most damaging drivers is the perception that there are no real consequences. At the centre of this problem is the £200 threshold introduced under the Anti-Social Behaviour, Crime and Policing Act 2014. Theft below this value is treated as a summary offence and is often deprioritised. In practice, this has sent a message that low-value theft is tolerated. The British government needs to stop talking and act. It must be abolished. At the same time, the law must change to protect workers. Retail staff should be recognised as a protected group, with clear legal backing if they act reasonably in response to theft or threats. Employers must not be allowed to hide behind policy while dismissing staff who are placed in unsafe and unsupported environments. 5 urgent actions are needed. Abolish the £200 shoplifting threshold and restore proper legal consequences for all theft. Introduce a specific criminal offence for assaulting retail workers. Strengthen legal protections so workers cannot be dismissed for reasonable intervention. Require employers to provide adequate security, staffing and training in high-risk stores. Increase police presence and ensure consistent enforcement against repeat and organised offenders. Retail workers are not passive observers. They are part of the community and they have a right to feel safe at work. A system that punishes workers while criminals act with confidence is a system that has lost its way and a clear failure by the British government. Stephen Morris, General Secretary of the Workers of England Union, said, "It is completely unacceptable that workers are being sacked for standing up to criminal behaviour in their workplace. Staff are not the problem. The failure to tackle shoplifting is. If employers and the law do not protect workers, then they are complicit in putting them at risk. This must change." Legal basis of the £200 shoplifting threshold. The £200 threshold for shoplifting in England and Wales is established in law through amendments made by the Anti-Social Behaviour, Crime and Policing Act 2014. This legislation inserted Section 22A into the Magistrates' Courts Act 1980, creating the category of low-value shoplifting. Under this provision, theft of goods valued at £200 or less is treated as a summary-only offence, meaning it is typically dealt with in a magistrate's court unless the defendant elects for a jury trial. While the maximum penalty for shoplifting remains up to 7 years imprisonment under general theft law, cases involving goods under £200 are usually processed more quickly and carry lower sentencing outcomes in practice. This distinction has led to widespread concern among retailers and trade unions that the law creates a perception of reduced consequences for lower value theft. The British government appears to has acknowledged this issue. Home Office briefings linked to the proposed crime and policing bill state that the £200 threshold has contributed to a perception that shoplifting is not treated seriously, and proposals have been made to remove this distinction. This legal framework is central to current debates on retail crime, enforcement and worker safety.